just a game.
Hey. What's up, everybody? Thirsty Thursdays, Q Squad Pod. Unknown user, privacy turned on, as you know. Keep walking, come on. Sean Beer Gunsy. Loving the names every single time. What's the bet? What's the bet? Matty comes on as Bunny again, the boring bastard.
I wouldn't doubt it.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Maybe he'll come on as Swanton Matty.
Maybe. On the spot made Wonton Matty. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Thursday's Q Squad Pod. Today we're just going to keep it topical, and I think we're going to be talking about some privacy in terms of, I guess, on your phone, where you go, what you can film, who can film you in private and public places, even at the airport where you have to surrender your phones to, I guess, if they want to go through it. I don't know if you guys have had that experience before. I've had some friends. But I guess just on the whole broad spectrum of things, what is privacy to you in terms of information? It should be just, you should be kept. No one is allowed access to it unless you give consent, correct?
Yeah, no, it's all your information, your videos, your passwords, your pictures, your self-soothing videos, whatever it may be. You know, that's for your eyes and maybe the girl who has the video also's eyes only. But yeah, I think your privacy is, your phone is, it's like your memory in a way. I feel like it's like the storage of your memory just outside of your mind.
So can I ask you this? So let's say the rule of entering this premise, the authorities require you to surrender your phone and unlock it. Are you more comfortable unlocking it without them seeing the password and letting them see, or if they ask you for the password and you have to give it to them also?
But what's the grounds on unlocking the phone, and why do they need to see it? For what reason?
It could be some sort of that I'm not quite sure, but I was telling you guys on the chat that I had a mate who was traveling from Vietnam back to Oz, and it was about 2014, and they were randomly just pulling people over as you got your baggage, and you do one last final screening in Australia. Yeah, and if you had anything to declare, you had to have on this form, and they put you in a certain line. So he was just randomly pulled over, and they asked him to, open his bag and go through everything. I think the only thing he declared was he bought like a specific sort of wooden spoon and chopsticks, because it's under the form, it's like wooden articles. So they had to declare that. And then they asked him for his phone, and then they asked him, "We need to search your phone." And he was like, it was the first he's ever heard of it. And then they pointed out some rule that they had on the board that they were allowed to. So he had no choice. This is him coming into Sydney. So he surrendered his phone and gave him the passcode, and they just made him wait, and they went into some room. They obviously plugged it in somewhere. When they came back out, they gave it to him, and it was turned off. So he had to turn it back on.
Weird.
So I'm not sure. Welcome, Matty. I told you it was bun me.
Where's the wonton?
So what
Yo,
are your
yo.
thoughts on that? I mean, at the airport, if it's at the airport, that's the rules. That's sort of the rules, isn't it? You kind of
If you gotta get on the plane, I mean,
No, he
I'd
was
like
he was coming in. He was coming back in.
oh, he's coming in.
Yeah.
I'd like to know the extent of why that rule is in place.
Oh.
That I'm not sure. I'm not aware of any background history that he may have. That could be a factor. It could be like certain people with I guess criminal records or anything on record is seen on your passport. I'm assuming, and if that comes up, it might be a bit of a red flag. Okay, let's just check him, even if he's just on holiday. It's just a routine thing that they generally do. I don't know, but yeah, so. Some criminal cases happened in the US where the authorities had to investigate and look up evidence for the phones of some suspects over the Apple was requested to break the phone security, but they refused. I think in America is different because they have a little bit more of rights, individual rights, a little bit more favored towards the people than authorities. I don't think it is in Australia. What about border security, Pat? That was huge in Sydney, right?
Yeah, but that was fine because that was like food and like illegal like substances that I can understand. But your personal property as your phone, like imagine being a commuter and just coming home and then they say, "Can we have a look at your phone?" I'm like, for what?
Yeah, I mean, what if
That's
they got
exactly what we're doing. Yeah.
It's like, for what reason do you need to look at my phone? Like, I would understand if I was I was suspicious for something.
Yes.
But if they start doing it randomly to just people traveling, then that doesn't make any sense to me. That's why it would be good to understand in what grounds do they need to search your phone. Like, I could understand as well if it was in front of you and then they had a look, but like, what are they looking for in your phone?
Yeah.
That's a good question. Yeah, like what is the reasoning that you, of all people, are getting pulled to look in your phone?
And why do they need to hide while they search through your phone? Like, that's your personal property. That's
a
thing
relevant
that
question.
sense.
That's a relevant question.
Because like when my mate had his phone taken, they went to another room, and there's no doubt that they could have made a copy of what's there.
Well, they could have done anything. That's the problem is you don't know what they're doing to your personal property. And the question is a lot larger once it turns into like not just your property, but like say, for example, it's a company phone. You're giving up like because if you're giving someone access to your phone and they're able to unlock it, they're able to get into every single app that you've got on there, as well as all the cloud services that it's connected to. And at the level of like state level actors, the capabilities that they have of what they're able to do with like the technology at a state level, is basically anything. Like and so some of the comments on this thread that I was reading is like people who were involved in information security previously, and they said state level actors at the level of like like a state security agency have technology so advanced, so far in advance that like it takes them 30 seconds to chuck it like a USB stick in your laptop or your phone or whatever. And at that point, it's basically like your phone is then connected to their services and there's no way to detect it, and they're copying everything off your phone. And not just at the moment, but continuously.
Oh, so like the more you like download stuff, it's like uploading to your
yeah, of course, yeah.
Crazy.
That's invasion of my privacy, of our privacy. I think that's not okay.
I mean, I don't know as an individual what sort of rights you have to reply to that. Could you ask, okay, you can look through my phone, can I be there? Can I be present as you look through it? And then that way you can sort of, they can sort of browse it, I guess, if that's part of the rules. But if you see them copying, you can say, hey, a minute, you can't copy my stuff.
Exactly. Because it's the same thing. When they search your bags, you can see what they're searching for, right? So what's the difference? Why would they need to hide and search through your phone like without you present? That's
I mean,
That's not right.
If you get stopped for like drugs and you have them like hidden in a compartment, they're gonna pull you into the room, and then they're gonna go through everything with you there, and then they're gonna be like, what is this? You know, like, why do you have this? So they have you present, seeing exactly what's in your possession.
Yeah.
So
It's very
why
different.
why can't they do that?
And for them to take your phone away, go to another room, and then return it to you, and it's turned off, and then they just say nothing.
Yeah, and you got no rights to say anything.
Yeah.
So interesting. So here's so in the interest of actually having like a discussion on this, the counter argument to this is basically like security and this, like the government being able to catch people engaged in basically like sort of international crimes, for example, trafficking and like child pornography, things like that, which I mean, I totally get. So, for example, like for Australian citizens, you're actually also responsible by Australian law to things that you do overseas, which is, I mean, I personally agree with. If you're going to Philippines or Thailand or whatever and doing like kiddie porn, then yeah, you should get fucked. The thing, yeah. So I think that's kind of like the counter argument. Where it sort of falls over for me is that, like, unless there's actually like reasonable doubt or some sort of evidence, like how do you just go around like taking random people's phones and and as the person, like, you have to trust them that they're doing the right thing and that they're then like deleting your data, and like, no thanks, I don't want to trust anyone with that. That's not a trust thing.
Because my mate who got pulled over, he also said that when they came out, they asked him he had a couple of images that I guess dubbed illegal, and he asked what it was, and then they showed him, and it was just memes of like, it was like that, like, because the group chat they have is like, they always send these, it's Friday, let's get shit faced, and it's just literally a butthole with shit spraying out in this dude's face, or it's Friday, let's get fucked up. And they were saying that these images are not appropriate, depending on, because sometimes it's like images of children. I think it has to do with maybe child pornography or something like that. But that was one warning that he was told, and he was like, "This is what we send in our group chat. This is on the internet, that people, it's meme, it's created as a joke. Like, if you can't see the joke out of it, then whatever, So it's kind of weird what they're sort of looking for in the restrictions."
So when I guess when I travel, I'm just gonna put my real phone in my check-in luggage, and have a dud phone that has nothing in it.
Or just have a travel phone.
Yeah, I'm just gonna have my spare travel phone, and I'm gonna have one picture in there.
Yeah, so that's what
fuck off, keep walking.
The picture is me smiling, going ha ha.
Yeah, it's my first time to Vancouver in 2012, flying from Vietnam. So we flew up to Seoul. The route we took was we transited in Seoul, and then we went to Vancouver from that route. So when we got to Vancouver, it was massive. Like the immigration line was crazy long. It was cold as well. So when I get there to the front, immediately they get the standard questions. First time here, because it's my first time there. And then they bring me through to the back. We were sort of like one of the very last few to get through. Tells me to open my bag. Goes, "What are you doing here?" I said, "I'm here for a university gig." And they said, "What university?" and stuff like that. Because we had a friend who hooked me up with a gig at the university in Vancouver, because he was studying there. Nice. So he said, "Come over, hang out." Because our end goal was to go to LA and hang out. So we went. He made me open the bag, and instead of him searching, he goes, "Can you open this part?" And I had to move it all out.
Yeah, they want you to move it.
Yeah, I had to move everything out. And he goes, "So what do you do?" And I had all my magic gear there. And he was like, "Oh, what's all this?" And I said, "It's my props. I'm a magician." And he goes, "Okay." And he's like going through every single thing.
Prove it.
Takes out the fake thumb, and he's like, he goes, "What's this?" I said, "That's a thumb tip." He goes, "Okay." And he looked at it, and it was just sort of, obviously he'd probably never seen one before, but he's probably thinking in his head, okay, because it's so foreign to him, it could be suspicious.
Yeah.
And then he took out my backpack. He goes, "Oh, you bring a laptop?" He goes, "Do magicians need laptops?" That was his question. Do magicians need laptops? I was like,
no, humans need laptops.
I was like, I use it because, I email, I edit. I do videos on there. And then when he was going through some of the magic, he caught another dude come over, and the dude come over, and he just looked at all my stuff and he laughed. And then I goes, and then he just looked at me. He goes, "Can you show us a trick?" So because it was just stuff was there, I just took the sponge balls and just did a couple of vanishing things, and then they enjoyed it. And then they goes, "All right, cool." Fucking wasted all my time unpacking everything out, and then I had to put it all back in and leave.
But that's the
And
thing,
I
though.
don't know, maybe because I was not flagged, but maybe because we were coming in from Vietnam, there might have been something. I don't know. Who knows?
A lot of these immigration officers think they're
Tough shit.
They're like king shit. Like, dude, you're an immigration officer.
Unless you're catching kilos of coke, you're not.
Yeah, and it's not going to happen when you're an immigration officer.
No.
You check bags. You don't check cargo.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, I mean, if you were to try to hide something, I think a magician would be the best person to get away with it.
Look, nothing in my hands. He goes, "You've got 2 fake hands." I don't know. It's a bit of a grey area. So who knows? Who knows? Anyways, if you've just joined us, ladies and gentlemen, we'll cut to a quick promo. When we come back, I'm going to share with you guys applied consent, and they use that in the filming industry and I guess shooting in public. So don't go away.
And they sound just like this. And they sound just. And they sound just.
Yo, welcome back to Thirsty Thursdays, Q Squad Pod. Today we're talking about security, privacy.
Security!
So, applied consent. So back in the day, if you guys know, like when they shoot stuff in the streets or in the public, and they get people's faces in it, more or less is they've had to ask the person beforehand, "Hey, do you mind if we shoot this thing? You guys are going to be on it if you sign this waiver or a contract, so they can use the footage. If not, they've got to blur the face out." They either do that before, so the people know, or they just film it and then after they get them to sign it. I think that was the most common way to get yourself out of trouble if you're using someone's footage with them in it. But applied consent now applies because there was a court case with someone saying, "Look, I didn't sign no contract." But when they filmed it, they had the camera come through and they asked the guy, "Hey, do you mind if I film this?" And on camera, he didn't look at the camera and say it, but because he was talking to the dude, he was like, "Yeah, that's fine, you can film us." But on the show, they don't use that part in the show. They just use the part that's, that they need to cut the video for. And the guy goes, "Hey, I didn't give you guys consent." But then the production goes, "No, hang on, you said it on camera that it was fine." So now they have this new rule that you don't really need someone to sign it, but if you have on camera of them saying, "Yeah, it's fine, you can film us," that's another version of consent to.
Yeah, because you're agreeing to it, and you can physically see it and hear it from someone on a camera. So I consider that correct.
Yeah, so that's sort of where things are at with the production side.
But is that only in like Australia, like in Vietnam?
That case was in America.
Okay, but what about like Australia or like?
Logically, theoretically, it makes sense that if you have someone on camera saying it's okay to film me, they can't really say that, "Hey, I didn't let you film me." They can't. Yeah. They don't have a case because you've got it on camera. It's proof. Much like some areas that could be filming in a certain, say, Walking Street is doing some filming, and they should have signs up saying that the moment you walk past here, anything that we capture is going to be used. Bear in mind that the signs are clear enough for people to see that, oh shit, we're going to be filmed in here, so we have to be okay with it. You know what I mean? Like just like how people walk through areas where it's slippery when wet, you can't sue them if the sign is real clear as daylight, right?
There, yeah. But if there is no sign, sue away.
Exactly. So there's a lot of. That's why in America, everyone sues for anything and everything, isn't it?
Anything they can get, they can sue for. They will, or they will try to. And there's so much that you can sue anyone for. But I think it's very different here in Vietnam.
So Maddie, I think you sent this article into the group.
Yeah, so this is the one. One of the things that I was reading about. So, this guy was working for the Jet Propulsion Lab, which is like sort of like really cutting edge stuff, and he had basically like a business phone, like a company phone, and he was forced to basically like give up the access codes for it, which was a massive violation of his work rules essentially, because it's like seriously cutting edge stuff that's like world leading. And I think some of it is in fact classified because they develop also rocket engines for things like missiles and like even like the big missiles, like the intercontinental ones that are like super high tech. So basically that's what I was talking about. And this guy is like born and bred American, member of Global Entry. He's been like vetted. He travels all the time. So, he's basically saying like, I'm not even an immigrant or anything. And if I'm getting fucked this hard, like imagine how hard like someone else could get done, essentially. So, yeah, like it's pretty serious. Yeah.
Yeah. What if like a different rocket engineer, someone from a different country where they're just flying to visit family or something?
Exactly.
They got their information leaked. Who knows what would happen to them? So
in the article they say basically someone disappeared with his phone for 30 minutes and they gave it back to him and said, "Yep, you're good to go." But the point being is like in 30 minutes, like that's enough for essentially anything. Like as you know, Petey, like you just bought your brand new phone. How long did it take to move like every single piece of data from your old phone to your new phone? Didn't you say it was like 10 minutes?
Yeah, like just under 18 minutes for the full iPhone 6 data, like
full everything.
No wires, no cables, just through the air. Do you think this is how information gets leaked? Because I'm always curious how sometimes they say leaked documents or leaked email. I mean, someone has to have access to it to leak it.
Yeah.
And this kind of seems like a way where, like, let's say there's someone goes, "Look, NASA, this is our protocol. We need to have your phone 30 minutes, boom." And then obviously violation, but because he has to give it up, whoever copies that over has a read of it and goes, "Whoa, this is hot stuff. I'm just going to leak this paragraph." That's
could be anything.
That's how, yeah.
Definitely not immigrant.
Far out, eh?
That's wild.
Yeah,
that's pretty crazy. They're not going to ask the president for his phone, but
probably not.
Yeah, I mean,
I suspect he probably doesn't come into contact with too many what is it, the border agents.
The border? No, he's flying in the first class jet, the American One. What is it called?
Air Force One.
Yeah, Air Force One.
American One.
That's your own place. That's your own country's plane, mate. You got to know Air Force One.
Question. So how many devices do you use like that's active besides your? Okay, so you have your laptop, your phone. What else do you have? You have an iPad or anything?
Two only.
Just two.
Laptop and
right.
two phones.
If you had to surrender one of those two for inspection, which one? The laptop or the phone?
Laptop.
Yeah. Sean's going, wait, laptop. What do I have on there?
But no, I mean, I'll give a like a legitimate reason for that. And so the article that we were just looking at before, sort of like it finishes with the guy being really concerned, not so much for his own privacy because he feels like he's already given that up because he works for a government department with like sensitive data, but he was making the argument that because he's giving up the access to his devices, he's also giving access to his friends who haven't consented to their privacy being violated in that way, so that's kind of like the argument that he's making, which is the reason that I would give up my laptop because essentially I don't really have much on my laptop that could be used to like compromise like my friends or acquaintances, whereas my phone is definitely not like
a lot more.
Yeah.
What you got in there, Maddie?
All of the good things.
I don't even link my phone to my laptop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know how a lot of people they love linking everything.
Yeah.
It makes your life easier, but
It does.
I mean, this is an example of why it's one of the downsides to it.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that because with the new 13, I have only some things that I link to my laptop, like with like Spotify. Like if I play Spotify on my laptop and I walk out of the room on the phone, I can still change songs on here and it'll come out to the speaker. But I didn't know that it linked everything else. So when I put Netflix on and we hook it to the big screen or to the projector, so I leave the laptop like on the side, it's playing, and automatically it comes up on my phone that it's linked, like my Chrome is linked to it. So I could control literally my laptop from the phone.
From your phone.
Yeah.
But I don't recall any time of me doing that link.
It works on the Wi-Fi network that you're on, and then I believe your iCloud account as well.
Okay.
iCloud.
Interesting.
I'm gonna bring back the Nokia 3210.
Right.
On that, there is a new phone that the company's been making, I believe, for a couple of years. I can't remember the name, but it's something simple like Light or something like that. And it's basically all it is just a keypad with like a black and white screen. The only thing you can do with it is send SMS messages and phone calls. That's it. And so this has been pretty popular in recent years for people who are looking to like sort of disconnect from being distracted by endless notifications and various distractions of our digital age. I'll see if I can find.
That's really good because I mean I always see. I mean, as the iPhone always updates you and tells you how much time you've spent on your screen. I think weekly, right? Mm-hmm. It'll tell you like your screen time was down or your screen time was up. So if you could take me away from paying attention to my phone more, which is probably impossible, there's more productivity to happen.
Let's bring it up. I just yeah, there we go.
Where do I go to?
I'll just scroll.
I thought it was a video.
Okay.
So there you go. That's all the phone is. A premium minimal phone. No social media, news, email, internet browser, any of that. Phone calls, texts. Customizable menu of simple tools. Headphone jack, Bluetooth, hotspot. That's it.
Wow. Okay. It's very like Kindle. Very like a Kindle almost.
It does look like a little Kindle.
Happy birthday! I love you. I think I would want email.
It's so old school. It's like a little pager.
Yeah.
A thoughtful.
There you go. You can play the video if you want.
What's the price on this thing?
$299.
$299. Fuck.
Bit cheaper than yours, man.
Pricey.
Lock screen.
Pricey for a burner phone.
I know, right? That's what I was gonna say. It looks like a burner. Who's Juan Didion?
I mean, you could still just use Nokias.
You can, absolutely. So if you want to buy a new one, though,
it's a bigger screen.
Them.
I wonder if they have a better snake on this phone.
I don't think they'll have a game at all. Sudoku, maybe?
Interesting.
There you go. Calculator, phone, alarm, music.
That's it?
I like how Sean's head is sticking out the top of the screen. It's fantastic.
What a pervert. Security issue.
He's judging you. He's judging you looking at the light phone.
They could have at least like done some like wireless earphones.
It looks like an iPod.
Yeah,
old iPods.
It looks like the old iPod, yeah.
Actually, I have considered buying one of those Nokias. I think it was like a 9960 or something like that, made of like that dark gray titanium that you like press the button and then like the thing like snapped out like that. Man, those were the coolest thing back in high school.
They were
there you go.
good.
Shows how old I am.
Miami Vice phones.
Yeah.
Do you remember back in the day to lock your phone was something like just it was like your left button and then star or hash.
Yeah. Hash or hash or star.
To unlock it.
It was the call and hash.
On the Nokia, you press unlock and then press asterisk. and it unlocks it. There was no passcode.
Now it's fingerprint, facial scan, passcode.
Yeah, what do you
passport.
think?
This is what I'm bringing to the airport, boys.
Nice.
Dude, they work great.
What do you?
So one of the things that that was discussed in the Reddit thread is that with many people who are traveling for business, their company specifically will give them a burner phone and laptop for all flights. And then if there is any sort of tampering whatsoever, basically they just bin it. Like they dismantle it and sell it for parts. What a lot of them will do is if they've got like a local office or whatever is they just say, don't bring any technology. We will give you one in the location like that you're traveling to. And then another method is basically the burner stuff that I was telling you about. So that seems to be like the big consensus is like, don't take any of that shit with you because it can be taken off you.
It's definitely much of a bigger thing in the US, because I was just Googling some stuff, and it says here that custom officers are legally allowed to search travelers' personal electronics without a warrant, whether they're a visitor or American citizens. And even now, lawyers are recommending that travelers carry burners, encrypt their devices, or simply not bring electronics at all.
Whoa.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So do you put it in your carry-on? I mean, not your carry-on, your stowaway?
No, because when they search that, they're going to find it. They say, okay, we need to look at it.
I would probably just put mine in my.
But you're not allowed to put anything with batteries in your check-in. They'll ask you that.
It's
I mean,
certain
it'll get
No, I think you are. It's above a certain capacity.
Yeah,
Because-
you're allowed to.
in my check-in, and I had to take the battery parts of it out and have that as carry-on, like the 3 battery blocks.
That's what I don't understand. Like, it's still gonna be in the damn plane.
Yeah, it's weird. Don't know. It's weird. It's really the logic of what you do on planes is a little bit weird too. In terms of, do you believe in the theory of the whole having your phone in airplane mode and shit?
Oh, I don't know.
That's not true.
What is it for then? If
Because I think in history there's only ever been one incident, but it's that they haven't even been able to prove it's from a phone. That there was some malfunction in the plane's dials, but they haven't been able to prove that actually came from a phone or phones being on. But since then, it hasn't had anything, so they've sort of just taken that precaution. But I've always said that if it really was that bad, they would enforce it a little bit more, wouldn't they?
Yeah, no, I have family members that are commercial pilots, and I asked them this exact same thing. I said, if I started smoking in the plane right now, what would happen? And he goes, nothing. It's just the smell.
it's just you're not.
I mean, it's pretty simple,
Yeah.
to be fair.
Yeah,
I don't want
and
to
then,
smell that shit.
and then I said to him, what would happen if I left my phone on? And he goes, nothing, because your reception will cut off. Once you get high enough, your reception cuts off, and then it's nothing. I said, so
nothing
why
going to your phone.
do they make us turn it
I
on?
have to admit, I've done that a few times, just left my phone on.
And then they said, why do they make? I said to him, why do they make it turn it off? And he goes, well, it just reduces the issue of something connecting or interfering with the electronics. But he said, but it doesn't do anything. It's just safety precaution.
Yeah. But I'll second on top of what Pat said is that certain airlines like Singapore, Emirates, they have Wi-Fi on board, and Wi-Fi in the business class and first class is like constant.
Yeah.
Because within the economy, they give you a certain time or a certain altitude that you can connect to Wi-Fi. But in business, you're allowed to be on it.
Yeah.
In business, they won't tell you to take your earphones off if you're taking them off. They just let you do whatever you want, basically. But when you're in economy, it's like, excuse me, sir, take your earphones out.
Even when you fly business, right? Like before takeoff. So I flew Thai Airways from Bangkok to Sydney in business, and it was an evening flight. And before we even took off, I laid my bed flat, went straight to sleep. I didn't get told, excuse me, sir, you need to put your chair up. They just let me go.
They're just like, you're
Get the
fine.
money, bro.
Yeah. But you fly cattle class, you have the window a little bit shut. Excuse me, sir.
Did you say cattle?
Yeah,
Cattle class?
Yeah,
Fuck you.
it's true though. It's true.
Fucking in the chicken coop.
Ooh. Okay, so it's the Nokia 8800. Oh,
Yeah.
god damn, that's a good looking phone. Oof.
Yes, I remember that.
Oh,
The
man.
slide down one, right?
It's
Yeah.
whole-
yeah.
Titanium.
They even had the button to make it slide out. Remember?
Oh, so classy.
Oh, man.
Like that a lot. I'll
How
totally
much
rock
were
one
they?
of
Do you
those.
remember?
They were expensive. They were like $1,000.
Far out. That's right, because you can get an 18-karat gold-plated body one as well. 4
You
gig.
should get
between
one of those
them.
now.
It's insane. It never had a
I
camera.
considered
Though.
it. Yeah, it had a camera, just a pretty low resolution one. I think it was like 1920. It was like HD resolution.
I remember the battery life on this was king.
Pretty good. All of the Nokias, like the battery life was like days and days and days.
Yeah, they would last forever. And like even if you dropped them or threw them at a wall or dropped them 3 stories,
Through the metal wall.
throw
So
them out the
that's
car.
gonna last.
They're built to last. Built to
Do you
last.
guys remember? Was it the Virtus?
Oh,
The
the
Virtu had-
Virtus,
I
the
mean,
$10,000 phones.
There was
Yeah, I remember those.
fancy about
Apparently,
it.
they still exist. Like they're still around. They're still selling them.
But they're worth that much because of that concierge service you get with them.
Yeah.
You call and then apparently that they just do everything for you. Yo, I need a car now from here to here, and flights booked, hotel.
Really?
Yeah.
That's the whole. That was the whole value on where they placed it, was to have that concierge at your fingers. It's done.
Well, this was my first phone, boys. The Sony Ericsson T10.
Oh shit!
Oh, mate.
That green one.
I
green-
bought
that
my
green
girlfriend one of those back in like grade 11, I think it was.
These things were the best, man.
Yeah, they were pretty good. They were pretty good. What a tank.
My one was before yours, Patty. Fuck, I want to bring it up for you guys to have a look.
That's out, eh?
At the end of 1998 was when I got mine. The Sony Ericsson 388.
388.
Yeah, there it is. So I went to the flea market, and you
I
can
remember
get
those.
the shorter antenna. So
Yeah.
that one's that long, but you can get like the shorter
stubby
one with the
one.
light on
Yeah.
it. So every time it calls, the light flickers.
Yeah.
And it had a clip, so you clip it to your belt as well.
Yep.
So.
My dad had that. He used to change the facing for it.
And like the thing was like when you get the original, the battery block is a really thick one, but then you can buy the thin ones that's a bit more seamless with the whole phone. So the thicker one lasts longer, but you get a thin one. And when you go out, you carry your phone with a spare battery, because if you run out of battery, you just whack a new battery in. Good times.
Well, they can't break any information out of those phones, can they?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Only thing they're gonna get is my freaking high score from Snake.
On the Nokias. Those were the ones where when you were messaging, they didn't have a message thread for that one number. It was separate messages separately.
Yeah.
For that. So if I message you, Maddie, it's in a separate line. And then if you message me back, it's like a separate message. It's a separate message.
Yeah, your inbox would have 97
you would
messages.
have a feed. Yeah. And like you could only store something like 60 messages at a time. So you had to go back and delete them.
And you'd be like,
So frustrating.
Yeah, I remember I had some really nice messages, so like from like chicks and stuff. So I kept it because I didn't want to delete it, because you couldn't screenshot or anything. You know, it's like, hey, I really like you online. You sometimes you just go back to your messages while you're hanging a shit and you're reading it. Like,
I will admit, I have a phone at home for that exact reason. I think it's like a 610 or something like that. Yeah.
The Casanovas.
just to read back some good times, you know.
6610. Yeah.
You remember also when you didn't have a phone or you didn't have it on you, and then you'd ask your mate, "Hey, can I borrow your phone to send a message?" And then you'd send a message because you remembered the phone number off the top of your head. Just send a message, and after you send it, you got to delete it straight away because you don't want to read it.
Immediately. Definitely.
That was so
and then you
good.
got to also remind like the other
Don't
person,
reply back.
Don't
Yeah,
reply
don't
back.
reply.
Like, I'm going
Yeah.
home now.
Yeah. Or if you had no credit, so you'd ask your mate, "Can I borrow your phone for a text?" Hey, it's me. This is my friend's phone. But don't reply here. Reply on my number.
Yeah. Like phone died, like I'll message you when back. Don't reply back here.
So good.
Yeah, I remember that for sure.
What the fuck, AT? Put your mask on.
Damn,
Dance
Dance Revolution was your ringtone. I think my first custom ringtone was the Blue song, because 388 didn't have a custom ringtone. It was until the next one after that, or the one that Patty had, you can actually put in the whatever ring code that you wanted to.
Wait, Blue song?
Blue, like the I'm blue.
Blue by Eiffel 65.
Eiffel 65.
But you know the funny
It's
thing.
so
was,
easy to make that ringtone though.
Yeah, but you know the funny thing also is like, because everyone was always showing off what ringtone they had, so you wouldn't just go, hey, this is my new ringtone. You just had it, and then when someone rang you, you didn't want to pick up yet. You just want to let the song go for a little bit.
Just let it play.
Let it play out. Yeah.
I'm blue,
Well, we're far from that privacy now. Yeah.
Those would be the safe phones, though.
Well, it's insane. Our phones are listening to us now anyway.
I know. You
Because
just say
they-
something. It's like, oh, here.
Or can you?
Huh?
Can we
Right?
what?
Like the police can, if you were using one of those Nokias, can the police with a signal track where you are? Only if you're on the phone, though, right? If you pick up, they can trace where the signal's coming from. Yes, right. But let's say the phone's just off, like how my iPhone is off. Like I'm not using it now, but if I got location services on, someone can actually figure out.
When it's off. It'll ring them your last ping of the last place your phone was on at, and then from there on, that will be the last location. But then if it's off, they can't track you farther than that. They'll hit it off a cell tower and then say you were in this area. But then once it's off, the location services is off. I mean, at least we think so.
Yeah. I wonder, like, sometimes when we go out and we want to meet each other and you share your location with me,
And they keep that.
and I share that with you, and so we can see how far we are apart. Can anyone intercept and get that information?
I would imagine so. I don't.
Yeah,
it's like
so
going.
apparently, like two-factor authentication that you use through your phone, like, can be intercepted pretty easily. So people, like, it's generally not recommended.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You might.
I mean, I'd imagine like
as well.
Facebook. Facebook is pretty easy to everyone for everyone to use it, and you can use location. I would imagine that might be easy to log into.
Has anyone actually read the privacy conditions and on Facebook on what you share? They're allowed to use it or whatnot?
Not exactly. I thought I remember reading something a while back, but
They basically
Like, if
own
you're-
everything.
If you're public, if you're listed as a public profile, then I guess that's in the public domain, so anyone can use it. But what about people who are private and post a couple of pictures, even though it's private? I mean, it would only be to your friends list, but then if it's on the line, that means it's go for all, right?
I mean, I guess so. It can be used and abused.
Do you still have a Tinder profile? Sure.
I'm sure if I
It's
log
not a
in,
question you
yes.
should be asking. Yes, this is not a question you should be asking your taken man.
If I
Publicly
logged
on
in,
air.
if I downloaded it and logged in, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's still there.
I mean, I know you used to have one, but I'm saying, like, it's obviously not active. But
Yeah.
If you're not active, does it take it offline, or does
Yeah.
it keep it there?
No,
Okay,
it
that's how
like
it works.
deletes your information, and then you can log back in, and it'll like put you out in the world again.
What about you, Maddie? Sure, you have a grinder.
I have two grinders, bro. No, I mean, I did have one, but I haven't logged in for a long time. Sean, were you saying like it just deactivates itself, like if you don't log in?
That's what. Yeah.
If you
Probably what's happening.
delete the app, it'll delete all the information and then log you like.
Does it? So
inactive?
does it delete all the information?
It doesn't delete
but
it because when you re-download it, everything is there again.
yeah, well,
It definitely doesn't download
Yeah, when you log
But
in.
it just takes you offline though. It doesn't put you in the algorithm of being matched with anyone.
yes.
True.
So you're still in the database of sex offenders.
Imagine being the guy that like is running the back end of that and sees all these profiles that come through, and obviously they have AI to do that. But just imagine if there was at least some sort of dude there that does the assurance on it, and he just sees profiles just left, right, center coming through.
Speaking of Tinder, did you guys hear about the app that this lady created? Because she caught her boyfriend, I think, or husband using Tinder. So she created an app where it can detect your partners that's on Tinder.
What?
Yeah.
Really? How?
Yeah.
What does it do?
What?
I don't know exactly. I'll have to find the article again, but it was something that I read last month, and basically because she got cheated on Tinder, so she built an app it's a paid app that detects the people that's on there.
Sounds like one of those things that's like, oh, if you can't trust your partner, then maybe you shouldn't be with them.
Yeah.
Stop going around and snooping around for shit.
Yeah.
Don't go looking for it if you don't want to find it. Just kidding. We're good boys.
Yeah. Well, Pomo time. Don't go away. We'll be back to wrap it up.
Wrap it up.
Back again with the Q Squad Pod Thirsty Thursdays, and we've just been talking about privacy and security.
Speaking of privacy, I got a joke for you guys later.
All right.
Top flight.
I got a privacy joke for you guys later.
I have a feeling I know which one it is,
I'll tell you later.
but I'll hear it from you first. But I have a feeling I might know because I just went through a few and I saw one and it stuck out. And that's something that Pat would choose for sure.
Just like the one that you chose when I was gonna say it. It was the exact same thing.
But let's have a quick think about, if we can, top our head, another topic for next week.
Chicken feet.
Chicken feet.
No, sorry.
Let's talk. What about let's talk about
Sex, baby. Let's talk about
sex workers.
and me. Let's talk about Lewis.
Let's talk about Lewis and photobombing. You had a good topic suggestion, Paddy.
No, I just read recently also. I don't know, maybe you guys might not want to discuss this, but equal pay with men and women, whether if it's work, sports, celebrities, because there's a big imbalance within the salaries or the remuneration side of men.
Is this in Vietnam or somewhere else?
All over.
Just all over.
That's a good one.
Okay. Sounds good.
Ooh, that
I'll
could
do
get
the fly
greasy.
for that. Ooh.
Yeah, it can get
Pump it
greasy.
out.
Can get greasy.
Might get some haters.
If any of the ladies that watch might want to,
Don't take offense.
chime in, you're more than welcome to.
That's not a bad one.
All right. Locked in. I'll do it with the flies. I'll work with you, Paddy, to get that pumping out for next week's Q Squad pod. So we've reached our hour of power. Waiting on this. Wait up.
Such a lame joke.
What is it?
But
I really
know
hope it's the same one.
I just know Petey would love this. Are you ready?
Yeah.
What part of the hospital has the least privacy?
What?
The ICU, mate.
I heard you said you feel lonely. Nothing is right.